welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome back to the series that I want to complete in 2023. So this is going to be a list of 15 series that I would like to complete by the end of this year. These are lofty goals, but seeing as I started with the list of like 37 series that I would really like to complete, I feel like 15 is a little bit more manageable. I have started so many series over the last 3 years. I believe that the series I have started is like 190 something. I've started so many series. Granted, I've DNF'd a lot and completed quite a few, and I'm caught up with some, but finishing series is definitely my main priority for the next coming years, alongside bringing down my physical TBR. All of the ones I'm going to talk about today are completed series, so there are no more books coming out in this world, which means I don't have to go back to them later on. So cross my fingers I can get to all of these, if not most of these, but without further ado, let's get into it. So the first one I'm going to talk about today is The Last Magician series by Lisa Maxwell. This is a 4-book series, and I have currently read up to book 3. This book follows a girl named Esta who has the ability to time travel. She gets sent into the past to steal an artifact that is supposed to aid this magical community. It's a book filled with lies and deceit and a found family aspect, and I really love the series so far, so I just need to read book 4 to finish this one off. However, that being said, book 4 is like 800 pages, so, you know, it's quite a feat. The fact that this one is even on this list for this year honestly pains me and hurts my soul to the utmost degree, and that is Third Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Have I finished the series? No, I have not. I don't know why. I don't know why. We did an entire read-along for it last year, and I got so behind with my pregnancy, I just was not in the mood to read fantasy, and that one unfortunately fell by the wayside. So I still need to read Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. So I only have 3 books left in the series, but I am looking forward to finishing it up. If you don't know what that series is about, it follows a girl named Selena Sardathian who is enslaved in salt mines at the very beginning of the book. She gets taken out to become a part of the games to be the king's champion. The king's champion is like the king's assassin, and if she does win this game, she will be the king's champion for 4 years, and then after that she will win her freedom. And the series really changes so much from the original synopsis of the first book, but it's a fantastic series. I love Sarah J. Maas, obviously, so I'm very excited to finally finish it up. However, I'm also quite sad to be leaving those characters, so I think that's why I have been putting it off for so long, because once I read these ones, as well as Catwoman Soul Stealer, I will have no other Sarah J. Maas books to read, and I'm kind of devastated by that. So I will probably continue to push it off, but I'm hoping to finish it by the end of the year. Then we have a series that have been on my list for a very, very long time. I will have to read books 1 and 2 before I can finish it up, but that is The Nevernight Chronicles by Jay Kristoff. I have had this on this list for so long. I think I read the first book in like July of 2020, and here we are in 2023, still haven't finished it. So I am gonna have to go back and reread books 1 and 2 because I forgot a lot of the main big things in the book, but I'm excited to get back to it and hopefully finish it up. This one follows Mia Corvair, whose family was killed, and she's determined to get revenge on the people that killed her family. So she goes to this school to become an assassin to learn how to kill them. And it's a story about her revenge. It was very good, the first 2 books I really enjoy. And I've had it on my list for a long time, so hopefully this is one that I can tick off very, very soon. Then we have one that I didn't expect to put on this list because I was honestly like kind of meh about the series, but since reading book 2, I'm very curious to read book 3, and that is The Illuminae Files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I really enjoyed book 2 a lot more than I thought that I was going to. I enjoyed book 1 when I read it, but it was a long time ago. I think I read that one in 2020 as well, so it's been a long time since I had a renewed interest in the series, but now that I have the series like fresh in my mind, I definitely want to try to finish it up. So if I could read Obsidio this year, that would be great. Hopefully soon, because sci-fi is one of those things that kind of goes right over my head, and I don't want to forget all of the ideas and concepts of the first 2 books before finally getting around to the third. This one follows Earth that has been invaded, and they end up on spaceships to fly to safety, but during that time those spaceships get taken over by mercenaries and people are dying, and the 3 books are told from the future about the past as the government is running an investigation on what happened on these spaceships. So book 2 was very intriguing, and I'm very excited for book 3. Also, if my voice sounds terrible, it is 11 o'clock at night. I don't usually film this late, but my baby's sleeping, so now's a great time to do it. Then we have The Bargainer series by Laura Thalassa. I feel like I've talked about this series so many times over the last couple of months, but this one is a series that I have been working on for quite some time. I am on to book 3, but I still need to read the novella in between, which I have been trying to read physically for a long time, but I just haven't had the interest in picking it up physically, so eventually I'll get to the audiobook and finish up the series. But this one follows a siren named Calypso who, at the beginning of the story, ends up in a very precarious situation and calls on the bargainer for help. The bargainer is known for making deals, and when he comes to collect, the price is very steep. However, Calypso ends up creating a friendship relationship with the bargainer and ends up with hundreds and hundreds of beads for the bargainer to collect on. He disappears for several years, and when he comes back, he's ready to collect, and the first payment comes in the form of a kiss. And it evolves from there. It is a very, very spicy, fun, fantastic fantasy romance. Definitely gives me Sarah J. Maas vibes. I really enjoyed the first 2 books in the series. I'm excited for book 3, and hopefully I can get to it and finally finish this up because I've been talking about it for forever. Up next, we have a series that I cannot believe I have not finished yet, and that is the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. I also want to talk about the Briar U series by Elle Kennedy, so I'll just group them into one, but I had read the first 4 core books in the Off-Campus series, but Elle Kennedy came out with a 5th book. It's like a collection of short stories that follows the 4 characters and where they are now post college. So I'm really excited to read that one. I've been meaning to get to it for forever, but I just haven't found the time or made the time to read it. And then speaking of Elle Kennedy, like I said, I do want to finish up the Briar U series. I do only have 1 more book in that series. I believe it is The Dare, if I'm not mistaken. And again, it's the last book in the series. These are interconnected standalones, so it's not like I need to reread anything, but I do really want to finish it up. They're quick, they're easy romances. I just haven't put on a TBR. So this is definitely the year. I'm finally going to finish those 2 up so I can finish up or go back to reading some of Elle Kennedy's backlist. Then we have Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I want to finish this up because I feel like if I don't read it this year, my interest for the series is going to completely die off, and I want to see how it ends. I really enjoyed book 1 and was really disappointed by book 2, so I'm hoping that book 3 is even better. This one follows a witch and a witch hunter who hate each other but end up having to have an arranged marriage, and it is a relationship between the 2 of them with a fantasy backdrop set in the setting of Paris, I believe. So I'm excited to get around to the 3rd one. I'm really hoping that it's better than book 2, but I'm trying to keep my expectations low in case the entire series is one that's going to disappoint me, but because I love book 1 so much, I have high hopes for book 3. Then we have The Dark Side by Christy Cunnings. This is a 4 horsemen fantasy romance retelling. I did not really enjoy books 1, 2, and 3. That being said, I am so far into the series that I feel like I should just complete it. It's only 1 more book left, and they are relatively short. They're like maybe 200 pages at the most, but I have a feeling I might have to go back and reread these ones in order to remember what happened in the rest of the series. I'm hoping that's not the case, but I'm hoping to just jump into book 4, and if I really cannot remember everything, then I'll go back and reread them. I do own all of the audiobooks, so it's not like I have to go purchase anything, but hopefully I don't have to do that, and I can just finish the 4th book and finish out the series. Then we have the Harris Brothers series by Amy Dawes. These are, again, interconnected standalones. I don't have to read them in order, but at the end of 2021, I believe, I read the 4th and 5th book in the series, which are Surrender and Dominate, and I absolutely love them. Dominate ended up being my favorite book of 2021. And then I went back and read book 1, and I really enjoyed that one, and now I just need to read books 2 and 3 to finish out the series, so that's my goal. I do own the audiobooks for books 2 and 3, so eventually I just need to put it on a TBR and get around to it. I know I'm going to love it because I have now read 2 other books by Amy Dawes and love them, so I just know that it's going to be great, and hopefully I can get around to those ones very soon. Then we have The Harlequin Crew by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. This is a series that I started in 2021 and continued in 2022. They recently just released the last book on audio, which is what I was waiting for, so I'm very excited to finally get around to, I believe it's book 5 in the series. I think I actually have to read book 4 and 5 in the series to finish this up, but I'm excited to get around to it. It's a Why Choose romance, contemporary romance. Has kind of like slight mafia vibes, and I had a good time with it at the time, and I'm excited to get back to those characters. You definitely have like the brooding alpha male and then the 2 other like cutesy characters. One's a little bit more off the cuff, but one other cutesy character that I just really enjoy. So hopefully I can get around to that series and finish it up, and it'll be good because I have started, I believe, 4 Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti series, and I have yet to finish a single one. So if I could finish one, that would be great. Then we have the Kit Davenport series by Tate James. This is kind of a weird one to put on this list because I have finished the core story. I finished books 1 through 6 in the series, and I absolutely love them. That being said, there is a novella in this series that is not available on audiobook. I read the entire series audibly, so I just hadn't felt the inkling to go pick up an ebook for this series. I do own it. I can get to it whenever I choose to, but I just hadn't felt the need to pick up the novella. But I do really want to finish it. It is taking place years after their story is finished, and it's kind of like an extended epilogue for them. It's not really necessary for me to read, but I do want to read it since I love Tate James so much, so hopefully I can get to that one as well. The next one that we have is the Bonds That Tie series by J. Bree. This is a book series that I am very excited to finish. I have read books 1 through 4 in the series so far. The reason I didn't read books 5 and 6 is they were not available on audiobook at the time of reading the series. I believe book 5 is now available. I'm just waiting on book 6 to come out via audiobook, and then I will finish up the series. This is a Wide Shoes, kind of like Omegaverse fantasy romance. I really enjoyed the series so far, especially because I read another book by J. Bree and didn't enjoy it, so this one is one that I had such a great time with. It is kind of slow burn in the beginning, and then it really heats up towards the end of the series, but it's very action-packed, it's very fun. The main characters are very unhinged and just all over the place, but it's a great time. So hopefully the audiobook for the 6th book comes out very soon and I can finish up that series ASAP. The next one is a tall order. It's a big ask, but I feel like if I don't read the next 2 books in the series relatively soon, I'm going to forget all of the important details, and I'm going to have to reread the first book, and I don't want to do that. So that is the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. I have read book 1. I just need to read books 2 and 3. That being said, they're freaking huge. They're chunky books, and I'm terrified. So I'm going to try my best to get to those 2 books this year. Hopefully I can spread them out and read them like one at the beginning of the year and then the other one towards the end of the year, just to give myself some space and some time between huge chunky books, especially because I've been reading a lot more adult fantasy recently, so that would be good. But I do really want to finish up the series so I can move on to Era 2 and then eventually into the extended Cosmere universe. And the last and final series on this list is the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. I have read Jade City. I'm in the middle of reading Jade War right now, and I just need to read Jade Legacy. I'm really enjoying this series so far. It's very different from what I'm used to reading in regards to fantasy, but I'm having a great time with it. That being said, the reason why I really put this on this list to prioritize it is because this is a very chunky series, but it's also very politically focused. There's a lot of characters, a lot of things that you have to remember in order to completely understand the plot and the goings on of the story. And I feel like if I push it off and wait for several months or a year, I will have to reread the series multiple times in order to finally finish it. So if I could just binge these back to back to back, that would be great. I'm hoping to read Jade War this month and then move on to Jade Legacy next month, and that'll be probably the first series that I finish, but adding on this list is a little extra motivation for me to finally get it done. Alright, those are all 15 series that I would love to read in the year of 2023. Let me know if you've read any of these in their entirety and what you thought of them. Did they have good endings? Were you disappointed by them? Feel free to let me know. Also, let me know if there's any series that you really want to complete this year. I would love to chat with you in the comments below. That is the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Baby, turn it down.